Hello, it's Alex, the Bookybus, and today I am very excited to be talking about my October TBR. Normally in October, not only do I like to read some horror, as usual, but I like to dive into some nostalgia with some vintage YA and middle grade horror. So yeah, I'm doing the same thing again this year. And before I get into the books, I did just want to mention my outfit for the day, which has these kind of amazing sleeves, and it's got eyeballs all over it, and on the back. I actually made this myself. I crocheted it. I'm not like an expert crocheter, but I did make this, and I actually made it last year. I was planning on having it ready for Halloween last year, but as some of you may know, in October I had some really bad dental things going on and I didn't get it done in time, and then I did finish it in November, but by that point I was just so I was still dealing with the dental stuff and it was a really stressful and horrible time. So I finished this, but I'd lost all enthusiasm for it. I didn't even take a photo of it to share it online or anything. I didn't wear it, I didn't do anything with it, I put it away. It was really sad actually, because I'd been so excited about making it up until that point. Anyway, here we are almost a year later. I've brought it out of its hiding place and I'm ready to be excited about it all over again. It's a shame that you can't actually see that much of it in the frame now, but anyway, you've seen it, and hopefully you will be excited for me for having made it and now wearing it. It's way too hot, I'll be honest, to be wearing it right now, but I've committed to wearing it for the video and the next video that I'm going to be filming, which is my film watch list for October. Anyway, rambling about my eyeball jumper, but worth it, I think. I will leave the link to the pattern below. It's by a really awesome creator called Just the Worsted, and yeah, if you are a crocheter, you should absolutely go check her stuff out. And yeah, the pattern was well worth the purchase. I really enjoyed making it. Anyway, onto the books. So I have a handful of just regular adult horror novels. I've got one graphic novel, and then I've got a bunch of vintage YA and middle grade. And yeah, just really excited about all of them, honestly. So let's start off with the adult horror. And first up is The Hour of the Ox Run Dead by Charles L. Grant. This is about a small spooky town called Ox Run Station. He wrote a whole series set in this place, and this is the first one. And I've only read a short story of Charles L. Grant's, but I absolutely loved it. It's the one in October Dreams, and I've been meaning to pick up his, some of his novels for ages, but for whatever reason haven't yet. But I was like, this spooky season is the time, because this just feels like all of the quiet horror, slow burn, atmosphere, spookiness that I want. Oh, and I will say my TBR is pretty ambitious. I do normally, October time, I like to try and, read as much as I can, so I do tend to have a somewhat ambitious TBR, but also I try and keep it realistic. This one might be more ambitious than realistic though, but I might actually start this TBR in September, so we'll see what I can get through. Next up is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. This is one that I've been meaning to read for years. It's, I believe, something of a haunted house story, but I don't know too much other than that. It is like 500 odd pages though, so that's why I've been kind of putting it off. But this is one of the books on my 23 in 2023, so I definitely want to try and get to it at some point this year, and yeah, why not in the spookiest time of the year. Next up is All Hallows by Christopher Golden. I don't really know anything about this other than it's set in the 80s and it's set at Halloween. So what more do I need to know, honestly? I'm intrigued. And yeah, this is a recent one. I think it just came out earlier this year. Next is The Prettiest Girl in the Grave by Christopher Triana. I've read a couple of his other books and enjoyed them. And this one sounds really good. It's about, I think, a group of girls who play some kind of game / initiation type thing where they have to stay in a crypt in this graveyard, and of course something goes horribly wrong. Yeah, it just sounds like gothy and spooky, and the cover is definitely giving me Halloween vibes. So yeah, hopefully this will be a fun one. Next up is the graphic novel on my TBR, and that is The Autumnal by Daniel Kraus and Chris Sheehan. And I don't know much about this one either, but obviously looks kind of autumnal and it's supposed to be creepy. Yeah, I'm just really curious about this one, and I am hopefully going to be borrowing a copy from the library if it comes in, because I think there's only one in the system and it's currently, you know, someone else has it out. So we'll see if I actually get my hands on this one or not. Okay, now we're moving on to some vintage YA. I love this, you know, all year round, but I definitely like to make more of a focus of it in October time. And first up is Freshman Spirit by Linda A. Cooney. This is part of the Freshman Dorm series, which if you saw any of my Garb August videos, you will know that I read Freshman Guys. So this is a series about a group of girls at university and just their kind of trials and tribulations and romance and heartbreak and all of that stuff. And when I was looking up the series after reading Freshman Guys, I saw that they did some special ones, you know, like a Christmas themed one and a spring break or whatever, and I found that they had a spooky Halloween one. So you bet I went onto eBay and I bought myself a copy of it because I needed it in my life. Look at this cover. It's absolutely amazing. We've got floating heads, we've got a face in a moon, we've got jack-o'-lanterns, we've got a spooky house, the wavy font. Oh my god, this just absolute top marks for cover design here, and I'm so excited to read this one. Of course, I had to add on a point horror book to my list. This one is Driver's Dead by Peter Larangis, and the other book he wrote for point horror was The Yearbook, which is a really good one and definitely one of the more wacky ones. So I don't know if this is going to be also crazy or not, or whether he is just kind of more sticking to the generic point horror style, but this is about a teenage girl who has driving lessons, and I think, yeah, something sinister starts going on with her instructor or friend who is helping her learn. Anyway, hopefully this will be fun. I wanted to add a Christopher Pike book into the mix as well, and this one is Weekend. It's about, yeah, a group of friends going away for the weekend, and of course it all goes horribly wrong and they're getting picked off one by one. Sounds brilliant. Got to add an R.L. Stine Fear Street as well. This one is The New Boy, and yeah, I guess it's about a new boy who turns out to be creepy, I hope. I also have The Haunted Dollhouse by Susan Blake, which is part of the Twilight series from the 80s. And yeah, absolutely wonderful cover with the spooky dollhouse. And we've got these like creepy AF eyes glowing in the dollhouse there. Love it. Don't even know what this is about other than I'm assuming some kind of haunted dollhouse. The Charming by Jane Polkovar, part of the Dark Forces series, another one from the 80s, and another amazing cover. We've got this creepy giant cat thing going on, and this is about a teenage girl. I think she wants to be the star of the play at school, and she ends up meeting someone who says, you know, if you make a sacrifice, you will get your wish, and you know, we all know how that kind of thing goes. So hopefully this one will be fun. Look for Me by Moonlight, half of the title's covered up there because it's an ex-library copy, by Mary Downing Hahn. I've read one of her middle grade books, Wait Till Helen Comes, which was really good, and this one is a young adult one of hers. It's about a teenage girl, and I think she meets some mysterious guy called Vincent Morthanos. So I don't really need to know more than that. Hopefully this will be some kind of, yeah, spooky romance situation. I am looking forward to it. And last up for the YA, at least I think this is YA because it's, you know, part of the Point series. This is Tales for the Midnight Hour by J.B. Stamper. So this is just a wee book of short stories, and I've read one of the subsequent volumes in the Midnight Hour series. I think it was More Tales for the Midnight Hour, and it was really good. I read that a few years ago and really enjoyed it, and then yeah, since then I found the first book and so I look forward to reading this one too. Another amazing cover. We've got a skeleton hand and some lightning. Yeah, love it. Okay, next up are the middle grade books I'm hoping to read, and if you are also looking to read some spooky middle grade this October, you should go check out the Hallowtween Readathon, which is hosted by Storm Reads. It's a really fun idea and there are some really great prompts. I will leave her channel and her announcement video linked below, so definitely go check her out, and yeah, hopefully you will join in too because it looks like a lot of fun. So there are a bunch of prompts. And first up is Retro Spooky, read a book older than 2003. And I think all of the books I've got here are pre-2003, so I'm good. Next up is Monster Mash, a monster of some sort on the cover. And I am going with a Shivers book by MD Spencer. This is Your Mama's a Werewolf, which is a great title. And we've got a werewolf in the moon there, as you do. So yeah, I'm going to count that as a monster. A creepy cover, so something on the cover that just gives you the creeps, and I'm going with Night of the Living Dummy, part of the Goosebumps series by R.L. Stine. Yeah, ventriloquists, dummies and dolls, all of that stuff are just inherently super creepy. Next up is purple on the cover. Actually the next two, we've got purple on the cover and green on the cover, and I've got one that does both. It is a Bone Chillers book, so it matches me and my lighting. We are just paired together as one beautiful purple and green thing. And this one is the first book in the Bone Chiller series by Betsy Haynes. It is Beware the Shopping Mall. We've got some skeleton mannequins and that's all I need to know. Next is Orange and Black on the cover, and I have two for this actually. This one does look a bit more yellow, but it looks orange when it's not next to something more orangey, if that makes sense. So this one is I Will Make You Disappear by Carol Beach York. This is a random one that I'd never heard of, but I found it at a library book sale and thought it looked super spooky. And I think it's about some kids who start, yeah, casting some spells and yeah, creepy stuff starts happening. So I'm really excited for this one. And the other one is Christina's Ghost by Betty Wren Wright. I've read a couple of her other middle grade books and really enjoyed them. They were, you know, ghostly, supernatural ones as well, and this is another one, so hopefully I'll have a good time with this one too. The next prompt is Turn the Lights On, a book with a light source on the cover, and I'm gonna use the moon as my light source from Your Mama's a Werewolf. Next is Face Your Fear, so something that you're afraid of on the cover, and I'm kind of scared of spiders. This is The Scream Museum, which is book one in the PC Hawk Mysteries series by Paul Zindel, and this might be more YA than middle grade, but it's the same size as all the middle grade books, so I don't know. I guess I will read it and find out, but yeah, this is obviously some kind of mystery series and hopefully it will be fun. And the last prompt is Trick or Treat, a book featuring Halloween or a fall setting. I'm not certain when any of these are set, so I might be lucky in that one of them is set around that time, but I don't know for certain. But, you know, I've ticked off most of the prompts, so I think we're good. They all look really fun, so I'm looking forward to diving into them. My whole TBR, in fact, I'm very excited about. I've been kind of putting it together for a while now and just adding more and more books to it. And it got to the point where I was like, I maybe need to start, you know, being a bit more selective, but I figured why not? We'll just throw them all on here and we'll see which ones I get to. So that is my TBR for October, which I might start at some point in September because I just can't wait. Let me know if you've read any of these. I would love to hear your thoughts, but no spoilers because I haven't read them yet. And let me know what you're looking forward to reading this October. I would love to hear about that too. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!